Hello. Let's go to this one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream of this random illustrator on the internet. It's just where am I? Where am I like this? I think I can. Give me a second. Doing some stuff here. Da, 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 da. I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try it. Add it here. Yeah. Of course. Of course. Of course. Should change my nickname to Grumpy Illustrator. Maybe I should make a t-shirt with that. Grumpy Illustrator. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a freaking plan. You know, I might just make this stream shorter. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. It seems like I don't know. It definitely can feel as if you're shouting into the void at times doing this. And I need to duplicate this. Can I? Of course. Yeah. I still have some memory because maybe what I'll do yeah, I think I'm grumpy. That's been like a thing that my family always says about me. I wonder how much memory do I have on the doesn't have a limit yet. I want to. I just. Okay. I'm thinking about what to draw. Uh, I have an idea, but I'm thinking about how to film this time around. I just woke up my dog. I'm sorry, buddy. It's like, what the F? What is wrong with you? You're waking me up. This human. This freaking human. You mean like, maybe. I, I don't think people. I don't know. It's it's been so long. Like I know the amount of effort I did to do this. Um, but yeah, I don't. Maybe that's why I am not more successful because I'm not the kind that wants to push all the time for. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. Going back to what I like to do. Full using pen and paper. I saw the latest episode of The Last of Us. It was really frustrating. Even though I knew what was gonna happen, it didn't make it less frustrating. You've never heard of The Last of Us? Really? It's like everywhere. It's a it was a game, and like it depends on the person, but it's like it was a survival game, kind of a zombie esque uh, plot to begin with, but it has kind of a really grounded in reality. I live under a rock. Uh, well, it's valid. People live where they want to, and that's fine. Um, so it's post-apocalyptic um, theme, and it's kind of based on some real things that happen in nature. That there's a type of mushroom that is called cordyceps, which is really scary because uh, like it's not completely impossible that they might start to jump. They could potentially jump into mammals. They've never done that. They just kept onto so far they kept onto insects. Gracias, gracias. Gracias, Dylan. Muchas gracias. I don't know why it didn't appear here. For some reason, it's not reading TikTok, but thank you. So the cordyceps are a type of mushroom that it attacks insects. Yeah, the zombians that's well, basically the premise of the show is that that same mushroom or a version of that mushroom, because the show changed some things based on the fact that probably if they did do the same thing they do in nature, nobody would be able to escape it. Like we would be all effed because they let out spores everywhere, uh, and there's no escaping it. But well, they changed that aspect of the way the the mushroom jumps in the show. The mushroom, is this a mushroom? Fungus? I don't know. Well, you catch my drift. Actually, what makes it even weirder is that there's people that eat that type of mushroom. I like, dude, why would you want to eat that? But it's edible, apparently. I don't know why would anyone want that, but it is. So, um, it's based around that. Apparently, there's a break, like the thing uh, jumps into a human, and well, all hell breaks loose, and the scientists start saying that there's no way of stopping it. Really, it's basically impossible to stop. So that's how the show begins. And I don't wanna spoil it for you. It's now a show, but it was a game, and it has two parts. The second part is kind of controversial in regards of the choices, the story choices that were made. They were heavily criticized for a bunch of reasons. Because the first one was like, it's, you could say that it's on modern times. There's like Red Dead Redemption, there's Skyrim, and so those would be like gold standard type games, triple A games. The Last of Us is a gold standard triple A game. At least the first version, the first installment. It's a whole story, beginning to end, really well executed. And like when I was studying animation, it was uh, I think it was releasing, or it recently released. So I remember studying 3D animation and visual effects, and watching the playthrough because of being a broke student. And that's what I did. I would do my assignments and watch the playthrough of The Last of Us on YouTube. And it's a masterpiece. It's a freaking masterpiece of storytelling and all sorts of different things. Certainly. Um, so, with all that said, the second one, the second one was like, who wrote this? And apparently it's from the same writer. And all due respect to the original creator, but the second one, the decisions they make I don't understand it. They took some weird choices, and yeah, I don't know. There's some decisions that don't make sense. Some uh, when a character does something that is out of character completely, like the character is known for being super super clever and so on and so forth, and then all of a sudden does something really dumb, that sort of thing. So there's a really crucial part of the story that it's like absurd what happens on the game. They changed it for the show to a little bit, but not that much. And yeah, I don't know. It it, it was. It's hard to explain because the show, the current one, is really well done, and at the same time, I'm still annoyed by the choices that they made. Like I was waiting to see, because I don't know if you've seen The Walking Dead, for example, but in The Walking Dead they they change some characters around, so a character would have be off the game early, and on the series they actually change it so that character gets, you know, wackadoodle at later. So they shift certain things around. Some of the characters have a different ending in relation to others. So my hope was that something else would have happened on this version of what they were doing, but no, they did not. I was like, they're sticking to. So they basically sticking to that timeline, which to me is kind of absurd. But what do I know, right? Having said this, there's some awesome, really, really good uh, story storytelling that goes on during the episode that aired, I think on Sunday or something. It's it's really good television. I wouldn't have. I don't know. I would have changed it around. You could still have kind of the same story, but way more fulfilling if they switch it around. It would have been even more dramatic if they did certain things here and there. But maybe I'm just nitpicking on it. The first season was really good. I At least for me it was really good. It's really story driven, and you're on the edge of your seat watching. My wife doesn't really like that sort of shows because they're scary type shows, but for me it's like I like creatures, so that's a really heavy creature oriented show, really. The character, uh, I usually just go for the muse. It's my recurring theme. I like the ethereal aspect that it adds to the whole thing. I don't like that. What I just did there. And they have some really they made some really interesting choices with the sorry for from the game perspective. It's like the opponents are really unique, like the creatures, because they're based on this real animal, or well, I guess they have their own uh, phenotype, their own classification in biology. Um, creature. When they did the concept art for that game, they really took into account how that fungus or uh, however I don't know the exact thing. It's a fungus. Cordyceps is a I think it's a fungus. No, probably not. Probably it's a mushroom. Anyhow, that creature, how it behaves in nature, and they took that and like combined it with how it would affect a human mushrooms. Okay, so they're mushrooms. Yeah, I was like because they eat them. Yeah. All right. So they they did some really creative things as to how it evolves in humans, how it affects them, and that's where the most kind of creepy and interesting thing came with that, because they created clickers, which the game, in the lore of the game, are this humanoids mixed with this, like, human mixed with this mushroom that basically burst their faces so they cannot see anymore, but they still have the, a jaw and mouth and so on. So they do clicking noises in order to orient themselves. So they're just listening around. So it brings this other level of um, I'm thinking of the word in Spanish, sigilo. Like, you have to be really careful where you're gonna walk by, and they did put a lot of effort into the mechanics of the game in regards to how sound affects the enemies. So I don't know, you would be behind something and you grab a bottle, throw the bottle, so they would go for that, so you could escape the place where you're hiding at. It's really well thought out. So yeah, it's just it's a masterpiece all around. It it earned a bunch of prizes like awards and so on and so forth. Um, I remember I was like, oh, maybe maybe one day I can work on something like that. Now I'm thinking that if I get the chance to do something like that, it would probably be on my own as an independent artist. Uh, that's what I think. I don't know. Yeah, definitely better than what it was before with this. I also think that I kind of lost some some skill at some point. I've been getting it back. At least, at the very least, some of the confidence I had with regards of drawing and creating. I don't know, they have a really interesting kind of world that they built. So what I'm thinking that they might do, because the criticism for the second game was a lot. I don't know how they're gonna feel about this second season, like the general public, I mean. So maybe if they do make a third season, it could be like a spin off. I don't know. If they make a spin off, would be interesting because you're branching out. Huh? What do you mean? I'm really lost. What? Does this repeat? Oh, okay. I was like looking around. I have all the chats open, so it pops up in a specific, yeah, in a specific like window. So I was like lost because one time it did happen to me that a bunch of messages reappeared that were old. I was like, what? Let's see if I can. Also kind of nice that my hand is a little bit better. Not so injured as it was. I think we tend to take things for granted, and we shouldn't. If I stop talking, it's because I'm trying to do the best I can here. Forgot my friend over there. Let's bring him back. think I'm still in there. A previous sketch. Straight to pen. I need to paint some stuff. Feel that each. It's kind of a stiff hand, but considering how I did this one. Bam, 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 bam. Maybe messing up the next page. No, not really. I prefer to have something here in between just in case. mess this one up, but kind of funny. Uh, after a minute. Okay. Uh, that's funny. I could leave it at that. This is not the best anatomy, right? Like this last part. Not the best. I definitely feel that I've gotten better over time. And that's kind of the path forward, trying to improve, incremental improvements. I think that my sketchbook needed something like this to kind of start to close it off. So I might finish it tomorrow, actually. Do I want to stay within the flow state? I wonder. is a nice setup to finish tomorrow. Sorry for that. Just need to sneeze. Yeah. Somehow I have definitely changed. I think that's reflecting here. Yeah, I know you want to break. Please don't. Yeah. 59. Yeah. Just leave it at this for today. Hopefully, some of y'all might enjoy this. I know uh, lately less people has been watching actually, but that's not the reason why I started doing this in the first place. So, if some of y'all watch this in the future, just know that if you practice, you can get better. regardless. So yeah, just pursue what you want to pursue to the best you can. That's really all you can do in the end. So I'll be ending the stream as usual. Shout out to my deck of cards that I made some time ago. You can find it on my website. You can get it delivered right to your doorstep if you're interested in checking that out. I also have a Redbubble shop where you can find merch with my illustrations in them. Uh, I also did some backgrounds for your phone. If you're interested, those are on my website. They're super cheap. You can purchase it there. Good night. Anyhow, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you next time. Consider subscribing, hitting that bell, and all that good stuff. It's completely free for you and it helps me a bunch. Until next time. Bye.